Hey guys, welcome to the Generation Physics. This is Akash, and in this video we're going to be discussing about the life cycle of stars. So in my previous video, we saw the birth of stars from a nebula, and in this video we're going to be discussing about their life cycle and the processes they go through before they die. Have fun watching this video. So the first stage of a star is its birth. So its birth comes from a nebula. A nebula is a cloud of hydrogen. So due to inward gravitational forces, the gas molecules collect in the center to form the core. Okay, so this core is the star. So this is the nebula, and the star forms inside this. Okay, so as I just said, the nebula is the first stage. Okay, this is called a stellar nebula. Then from this we have two kinds of star. One, average star, and another massive star. Okay, so basically average stars have a lesser mass than massive star, or massive stars have higher mass than average star. Okay, so according to this, let's say an average star has a size like this. It's pretty small, and for a massive star the size will be like this, bigger compared to the average. Okay, and its mass will also be higher compared to that. So the next stage is the contraction of the core. So what happens is, in the star there's a core. Due to gravitational forces, this core is contracting. Okay, so as it contracts, in the case of an average star, what happens is it forms a red giant, or a really tiny core with a shell of hydrogen around it. Okay, so this is the core of the star, and this is hydrogen. Everything else is hydrogen. From our point of view, we can only see this part. Okay, so even our sun is a red giant, and we are only able to see this, but this is only hydrogen. Okay, and the core is only over here. This is the main part of the star. So this is what happens in an average star. You call this a red giant. And for a massive star, it's somewhat the same condition, and it is called a red supergiant. Okay, it's called a red supergiant, and this is called a red giant. So after this, what happens to these stages? It forms something called a planetary nebula. So once this core is run out of nuclear fuel and can't do nuclear fusion anymore, what happens is that this core is inactive. Okay, there's an inactive core, and this hydrogen shell becomes a nebula surrounding this. Okay, this nebula is called planetary nebula. And this core, you can see over here, which is inactive, is called a white dwarf. And some people also say white dwarf star. So this is the end of an average star from the nebula. Okay, now let's discuss the fate of a red supergiant. Okay, so before I do it, let me say the name of it. You call it a supernova. Okay, since the mass of the red supergiant is higher than the mass of the red giant. I know that this diagram seems to be a little bit bigger than this diagram, but that doesn't really matter because none of this is to scale. Since this has a higher mass than that, the whole outer shell collapses within the core. So if this is the core and this is the outer shell, gravitational forces pull everything to the center. Okay, and the core collapses, resulting in an explosion. So what happens is, once everything strikes the core, all of these hydrogen atoms and helium and everything, they suddenly explode, like they reflect back, causing an explosion. It's like they go in and then they come back. Okay, so this explosion is called a supernova. The remnants of this explosion is called a supernova. So from this explosion, a supernova, there are two possible formations. One, we have a neutron star. So in a neutron star, all the electrons get inside the protons and the nucleus, atomic nucleus, and all you have remaining are the neutrons. So all the neutrons combine to form something called a neutron star. And the other is black hole. Black holes are really popular. And black holes are formed slightly differently from the neutron star. Okay, so neutron stars are the collapsed core of a star. And black holes, they are just holes in space. Now, this is the life cycle of a star, and here is an image of it. So in this, you can see that there's the stellar nebula, and now matter joins at the center, and then we have an average star and a massive star. This forms a red giant, and this forms a red supergiant, and then the core gets collapsed and everything, and then you have planetary nebula and supernova, and a white dwarf, neutron star, and black hole. So this is the life cycle of a star. Thank you. Hey guys, hope you had a nice time watching this video, and I'm sure you would have understood about the life cycle of stars and what happens to them before they die from birth to death. So if you like this video, drop a like, share, and hit the subscribe button, and also the bell icon for more notification and videos from the Junior Astrophysicist. Have fun learning. Bye guys.